Hello everyone, it's Sherry from Turquoise Dreaming. How's everyone doing tonight? I hope you're doing well. Welcome to my channel. I am super excited to share these little journals with you. 2 videos ago, I showed a video where I was crafting on the road, and then I showed or flipped through the 2 journals, like traveler's notebooks that I did and finished from being out on the road. So I have 2 more here, and this one I started out on the road, and this one I did when I got back. But the reason I'm showing both of these right now is because they are for my husband's aunties. They are aunts that we recently saw on our beach trip, and they're just some cool ladies, and I've always been telling them about my junk journals, and of course, you know, they're not journalers. And they don't know, I mean, I can try to tell them, I show them pictures, but until you actually have a junk journal in your hand, sometimes if you're not part of that world per se, you don't really probably get what a junk journal is. So I kind of made them each a junk journal, and they're sisters, and they're both very different. So this one is for one auntie that she's a retired physician's assistant, very intelligent lady. She, let's see, she is a 70-ish, in her 70s, I would say, and she is a 70-ish year old hippie. So if you can picture a retired, intelligent physician's assistant, hippie type person, that's her. She, let's see, how else can I describe her? She lives out in the country in New York by herself, and she does things like, she has these drums that she beats on to help her with life and to relieve stress and just connect with the earth and things like that. So, and she likes to read. So I made her this journal. It has a yellow like seam binding tie, and I started it on my on-the-go out there in the camper at my son's event, and I had made those 2 traveler's notebooks, and I said, well, what can I do with the rest of this stuff that I brought? So in that stuff, in those papers, I had a brown envelope, and actually I had cut a brown envelope in half, and I'll show you. I brought the front half, or the back half, whatever. I cut it in half that way, front from the back. So I had 1/2 of it with me. I thought, well, maybe, you know, I've never made a journal out of a brown envelope, and I've seen other people do it. So I thought, well, why don't I just try it right here now? So I did, and I had this scrapbook paper with me, so I covered the front of it with this pretty scrapbook paper. And when I got home, I put this label on here. It's a yellow label with the word field notes. And I actually bound it when I got home because actually I ran out of time, so I didn't get to finish. I had the things for binding it, but I ran out of time. It was time to go, so I bound it when I got home. But most of this I did there, except for, let's see, in here, I put this on when I got home. I have some shell napkins that I put a piece right here because we had gotten together at the beach here in North Carolina, on one of the beaches over on the East Coast. And so I put some of that I put the same scrapbook paper on the inside, some of the shell napkin, and I put a little shell right here with a little piece of netting to look like maybe like a fish net, and a little shell. We, with the other auntie, I and her both collected shells. So this is one of the shells, and I just put a little hole there and tied it on with some netting to, you know, as a memory that we were together at the beach. I've got a little vintage label here on this scrapbook paper. And so I made this heart for her, with her specifically in mind, because I figured she might want to just write in it, you know. She's not crafty, and I'm not saying she can't be crafty, but she just, she's into reading, and I thought she would either want to make lists or notes or write down some memories or make a list of her books or maybe notes about the books she reads or has read and wants to read, that type of thing. So it's mostly a writing journal for her and for her to get an idea of kind of what, you know, this is a simple version of what I do, and for her to have a junk journal that I made. So we'll just flip through. I've got a little scrapbook paper in here, and like the previous couple of journals, I just did a lot of foldovers and fold-ups because I didn't want to have any scraps left over. So as you can see, a lot of lined paper, there's dyed paper, there's, I think this is pink dyed, this is blue dyed from food coloring. Fold out with some scrapbook paper. These are 2 scraps I put in here together. This is a little piece I just put on here. It had fish on it, so that represented the ocean. And it's blue and green, so it matched, kind of, not that this is matching. Little piece of note paper, more writing space for her. I tuck on this side also with note paper, and I put a little piece off the napkin right here, just as a decoration. Some green dyed paper. This is scrapbook paper. So she can, I've left all the white side so she can write on there. Green food color dyed paper, coffee dyed, and just scrapbook paper. So tons of writing room in here because this is a writing journal for her, and her to get her feet wet with a junk journal from me. And on the strings I put 2 little shells, and I thought it was so cool. Oh, this one broke. Okay, I'll have to put another one on there. But anyway, you know how the shells have holes in them sometimes, so I use those shells with holes in them on the top, on the strings here. And then just more writing papers, and we're on the back half here. So just a quick little journal. I want to write, you know, put something together for her, and she's actually there at the beach still, and she'll be there till the end of April. So I'm thinking I'd like to get this in the mail and have it waiting for her when she gets home. I thought that would be fun. So little tuck here with a little label right here, a tag. It does have a string on it, so I just kind of glued that on there. There's I think there's only 1 piece of sewing here. I glued some little shells in a circle there. And then the pocket in the back, and the pocket, this one I sewed because I sewed on this little collage, and I had gotten that in Happy Mail. And then a few pieces of ephemera here. This piece I also got in Happy Mail from Kathy D. And so that's in there. I thought she would enjoy the lines on that and the artistic look of it. And then just some tags and little journaling cards that she can write on and do whatever she wants with and experiment with and learn how to junk journal. So that's it on that one. Just a quick little journal that I made up. And the, you know, the tie closure here is coordinating. Oh, this has seeds in it. Little packet of seeds. She lives out in the country, so I bet she'll plant those and grow some sunflowers this summer. And the 2 journaling cards there. So, and these pockets are just turned up. It's open on the side. I didn't, you know, worry about gluing them down or sewing them or anything. So that's the first one. And I actually had this in my mind for a little while before I did it. And I thought, and this is the size, exact size that I wanted to do, that I had in my mind. So after I did this one, I wanted to make one for the other aunt, who is the crafty aunt. And she's the one I collected shells with. So this one is made with her in mind. So I've got the same, you know, type of base here. It's a brown envelope, and I Mod Podged the shell napkin over here. And let me just show you the tie closure real quick. This is another seam binding closure, and it matches these shells really well. It looks really pretty on here. And this is a shell, and this shell had 2 holes in it. So cool. And I was tying this up, and I thought, you know, it would be really cool to just thread this through a shell, so it's like kind of like a buckle or just a decoration on here. So I think she'll love that when she left. When I left with my shells, she's of course had a bunch of shells there for her, and she said, I want to see what you do with this shell. So when she gets this back, I think she'll be really happy with this. And so I've got that shell on the closure there. And let me show you again. When I take it off, you can see it's just threaded through those 2 holes. It was like the perfect shell. I couldn't believe I had it, but I did. Anyway, so this one I did the flap, you know, inside the back like that, and I left it so she could see the brown envelope. I wanted her to see that it was made from a brown envelope. And I'll tell her, I'm going to write a little note and tell them how I made these. But this one I did the flap, you know, on the over the front. I thought that would be cool and that she would like that. It was so pretty. It turned out so pretty. And this napkin is actually whitish here in between the shells, but when I put it on this brown envelope, the brown envelope shone through. So it kind of gives the white part a peachy color. And so, as you can see, it turned out kind of vintagey looking and really pretty. And the flap, I mean, I did the napkin Mod Podging on both sides, and it feels like, it's so cool how it feels. It feels almost like, I want to describe it as a vinyl tablecloth. Believe it or not, it almost feels like vinyl, with the two sides being Mod Podged like that. And, you know, brown envelopes are a tiny bit thick. Not quite as thick as, it's not like cardstock, but it's a soft cover, but it just feels like vinyl. It's so cool feeling. Anyway, there it is with the flap. So you open it up, and I only put 2 pockets for her in the very middle because she's the crafty one and she can write in here a little bit, but she might use it more as writing a few memories in, putting pictures in, mementos, you know, gluing things in that she wants to keep and things like that. So that's the thought behind this one and how this one is constructed with the pages I put in here. So as you can see, this is a lined page here, and this is from a journal, you know, that I took apart, and there's some scrapbook paper, and I wanted her to get the junk journal feel with this. I flip out there. This is from a travel brochure, and it had the ocean on this side, so I thought she would like that. This is from a day timer, scrapbook paper. This is from Helen Steiner Rice book, and we've got scrapbook paper here, lined journal paper, some scrapbook paper, another day timer paper, a scrapbook paper, and a book page. This is actually a picture that I printed from, I went here with my boss and my co-worker for lunch one day. He took us there, and then I was looking for a picture to put in my journal of the place where we went. I didn't take a picture or anything, and I found this online. It's a little restaurant called Liberty Oak in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I liked this green door. So I put a picture of it in my journal for my memory that we went out to lunch that day, and I printed out some extra ones because I thought it was so cool with this. I don't know why. I just love this green door. So I put a piece of that in here because I thought she would like that. And this is some coin from a coin book, and just some scrapbook paper, some more book page. This is some scrapbook paper. This is some old scrapbook paper that I found in my dining room stash. Another piece of the travel brochure, some tracing paper, a piece from a piano, I think this is from a piano book. And this is the middle here. So this is from a page from a children's encyclopedia. You know, I've mentioned before, I love these pages and the colors and everything. So I made sure I put the pretty pocket, you know, the prettiest pictures on the in the middle here, and made pockets with the pretty part of the page. And so I put all her ephemera in these two, like I kind of loaded it up. I've got 2 shells here. I want to see if I can show you these, because I kind of found the tiniest shells I could for this middle, and with the holes in it where the strings would fit through. So I wanted to show you those. Are so cute. Just a little tiny shells that I put in. Those both had holes in them, so it worked out really well. So, and for her ephemera, since she's the crafty aunt, I wanted to put things in here that I made so she could, you know, get a sample of my craftiness. So this is a little journaling kind of card that I made out of index. I think this was from an index card, and I had distressed it, put some of my leftover Valentine from a Valentine kit that I had used to make some journals. I put those on here, distressed it, rounded the corners, and made a little kind of like journaling booklet, or, you know, just open and close little journaling card with some baker's twine here. So that's that one, really cute. This is from a card that I had cut out, tags from the pretty part of a card. This is a little picture that I cut out from something, probably a magazine or something, so I thought she'd get a kick out of that. And it's distressed on the back and backed with file folder, so she can do whatever she wants with that. And over here, some more fun stuff I put in here for her, a file folder that I had made out of scrapbook paper. And you can see how pretty this page is, the colors and everything. And then I got one of my little winged paper dolls for her. Thought she would like that. You get a kick out of that. I can just see her looking at that going, what did she do here? I make these little kind of word cards for my journal, so I put one in there. This is magic. I thought she would like that. So now, we can just look through the back half real quick. It's just all pages and the same, you know, other half of what's in the front. Lots of room for writing or putting in whatever she wants. So, you know, I think I put about 40 pages. There's 40 pages in each one. So that's, you know, 80 fronts and backs. So really there's lots of room in here and something for them to see, you know, if they like, you know, junk journals and kind of just, you know, experiment with the idea of what a junk journal is. This is some little shells I put on the travel brochure page, and this has some beach scenes here. So right here I put 3 of those little tiny shells, and one of them actually has a hole in it too. So just really pretty cute little shells, and you know, they're real. So it's really cool from our trip together. She can always remember that. And here's the back, really pretty with the shell napkin. Came out really cute. So, you know, really easy little journals. And if you have any questions or anything about how I made these, just feel free to ask me. I'll be glad to answer or do any type of tutorial. If somebody wanted a tutorial on these, I could. These are pretty easy to make, so I probably could make the total thing on camera, possibly. But anyway, really cute little journals. I think they'll like them, and so I just wanted to show you tonight, and I hope you enjoy them too. I totally enjoyed making them, and they're pretty quick to make. So my next video is probably going to be I'm hoping to do maybe a Happy Mail video. So, you know, my Happy Mail videos are giveaways, so I'm kind of getting that organized. And then I have another one, a Daphne's Diary, to flip through for you, and some interesting information I found out about making, you know, us journal makers, and the legalities of making journals out of Daphne's Diary magazines. And it's good news from an attorney's mouth. So his legal opinion. I will be trying to just give a simple explanation of that. So that'll be next time, and I'll see y'all then. Thanks for watching. Good night.